Hey man, how are you?
Hi, Sid. How you doing?
I'm okay. All right. Let's get down to the cricket. Interesting series this, India and South Africa. It's a 2-all. I know I told you on WhatsApp under a better Indian captain the score could have been India's series, but I think Rishabh being captain kind of makes things interesting because if the other guy was captain, I think you all would have probably won the series by now.
I think it's a bit of a topsy-turvy series, hey? First two games going to the Proteas, and the next going going India's way. Look, we've seen a bit of weaknesses, especially in the chase from the Proteas. I think they've backed this sort of game plan where they want to chase down, defend it, bowl first, and know what they're chasing, but it doesn't always work out like that. So I would have preferred them batting first in a couple of those games, getting a
Mm,
total on the
mm,
board, and then trying to defend it because you've got to in a tournament you've essentially got to do two. You've either got to
mm,
defend the total or you've got to try and chase down the total. So it would have been
mm,
nice if they batted first in one of those games. But I
mm.
see they've stuck
Especially
with this. They've
the
stuck with
third
this game plan. They've stuck with this formula, and they're stuck with Pretorius being the pinch hitter as well at number. Yeah. They're stuck with him with the pinch hitter at number three. Look, it worked out in the first game, no doubt about it. It did work out.
game.
Can't deny that. He did fairly well in the second game as well. But I think the third and the fourth game really, I think the wheels came off a bit there. Hey, and by no means were it very were those pitches good batting strips. They were quite challenging. Let's be honest. But I think a good side. Obviously, they'll try and adapt. But I mean, yeah, I guess this is what spectators wanted. They wanted a finale, and they're going to get a finale. A little bit
Mm.
disappointing that the Proteas, threw away a 2-0 lead. With essentially three games to go, they just needed one more to seal it out, and it's all to play for now in that final game. But I guess for a neutral and for the fans, it's a good sort of outcome. So yeah, let's see what happens in that final game at Chinnaswamy in Bangalore. That's a very very good batting wicket, small ground
Mm.
as well. So you expect to see a lot of boundaries. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'm hoping for fireworks.
Yeah, man. It's yeah, I was surprised to see Avish Khan doing well, eh? Although I guess he had to do well in one of those games. Oh, yeah, I was saying that.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I was saying that it was surprising it was a bit of a pleasant surprise to see Avish Khan doing well in that last game, but I guess he utilized the pitch there. So yeah, I guess it's good to see you can say essentially India's A team finally picking up their paces there in the series. But it'll be interesting to see. But I think if yeah, it's a bit weird because India has been chasing every single. Oh no, not India. I mean, SA has been chasing every single time. So it'll be nice to see how it'll work if SA is setting up a score and then defending. Because it's not really. I mean, I felt that SA should have batted first in the third game because they had nothing to lose. Although I guess it's a difficult one, eh?
Yeah, I guess there's always something to lose, hey, especially when the series is still up for grabs.
Hmm.
So you've got to get the job done early. You've got to get the
Hmm.
win, and then once the series is probably sealed, to
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
advantage, then probably you can do it a bit of experimentation. You can probably
Hmm.
chop a few
Hmm.
things around. Get another guy to come and open. just try and sort of experiment with the bowling attack as well. But unfortunately, they don't have that luxury because it's 2-2 now. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that sense, where they could have probably sealed this one by now, that it's going to go down to a decider. But I know you were hoping for that. So yeah, I guess there's no complacency now. You can't be complacent because it's a decider, and you've got to give out your best performance in this game. And there's nothing, there's no comeback from this. So yeah, I just hope that the batting obviously clicks, because it hasn't clicked in the last two games. It's been quite it hasn't been good to watch, especially in the last game. So yeah, I mean, I hope Bavuma is okay, because obviously he came off. So we will. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. De Kock, by his standards, he hasn't had he hasn't had the best of series, but I mean, understandably, he was injured for a couple of those games. So I think he owes us a big score in this last game. So yeah, let's see what happens. All set up for a thrilling finale.
Yeah, man. Okay, let's get to the next segment. I think that is England and New Zealand, right? And I think, yeah, England won the second test match. Wow, what a humdinger. I really thought this was going to be a dead draw. So much runs. But yeah, as you said, McCullum and Stokes. Yeah, I kind of like I like Stokes as captain, but I was a bit interested to see how McCullum would perform, because he's more of a one-day sort of guy. But yeah, man, he seems to have the special effect. I know he did. I wonder who was the guy for KKR who was the coach or something when they won the first couple of titles. Maybe it was John Wright or something, but I digress. Okay, but nice to see McCullum showing the New Zealand effect for the New Zealand team when he's captain. Now he's starting to do it for England. Early days, but they've wrapped up the first series. Nice for an England win, actually. So long. Been ages.
Absolutely. I think this has been a fantastic selection for England as a coach, and let's face it, this England Test side really needed some real kick in the backside, and they needed somebody to take them off the cricket that they were playing, because the cricket that they were playing was not good at all. It wasn't winning cricket. It was sort of too defensive, and they were so. I guess there was a fear of failure in the year and a half that we've seen England play as a Test team. And, McCullum has come in with Stokes, and the one thing that's changed with England, I must admit, is the mindset. Because if you look at an England side, with the previous manager, they would probably have settled for a draw. I mean, let's be honest, they would probably have settled for a draw. But what I think McCullum did after they bowled New Zealand out on that final day, they said, lads, let's go for it. Let's go for this one. We got enough time. Let's back ourselves. Let's play our natural game. And when those England players play their natural game, they're quite devastating on their day. And I mean, we saw Bairstow, and I think one of the best hundreds I've seen in a very long time, and probably one of the best chases that I've seen in a fourth innings. It was absolute. It was brilliant to watch. That partnership between Bairstow and Stokes really took the game away from New Zealand. And the mindset has changed from this England side. It was absolutely, it was sensational batting on that final day. I think they scored like around 170 runs in about 16 overs in a Test match. And that's insane. That is really insane. So yeah, I mean, you can see the McCullum effect already on England. And this Test team is looking pretty decent, I must say. All of a sudden, and it's. I guess it's still early days, like you said, and there is going to be tough opposition to come, but they're moving in the right direction, eh?
Okay, so just to wrap this one short, for the third test, I know when you told me 3-0 and we did the segment, I was a bit unsure, but I think the way England's going, I think it is possible. I think it's going to take a bit of a amazing. Although in New Zealand, they're pretty mentally strong, so wouldn't surprise me, but I feel it's kind of pointless. Although I wouldn't mind them winning, so I really don't care anymore. Either whether England win or lose, I think they'll still be mentally strong going into that Indian series. So best of luck to India when they do come to England. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think there's another thing that's obviously against New Zealand at the moment because, I mean, they've lost the captain, Williamson, and then they've lost Bracewell now due to COVID. And then a few days after, they've lost, who was it? Conway due to COVID. So, you've got three omissions and you've got two big players in that squad. Two really big players in Williamson and Conway that have left the squad. So the squad is looking a bit depleted at the moment. Oh, and also Jameson as well due to injuries. So, yeah, it's looking like a long, long way back for New Zealand. So, I mean, I can't see England losing this test match. And I can't even see them drawing it. I can only see them going for the win. So, yeah, it's 3-0 for me, Sid. It's 3-0 for me. I can't see any other result at the moment. Given how New Zealand have played and given how depleted their squad is at the moment. And, I mean, we all know that they're a fighting team. They're very competitive. But I think this is going to stretch even the best teams out there.
Okay, so we get to the last segment, Sri Lanka and Australia. Okay, let's get down to it, I think. Sri Lanka lost the T20 series 2-1, though that last one was a really exciting one. And then we go to the ODIs. I think it's split, right, at 1-1, isn't it? The 50 overs.
Absolutely.
I think that's 1-0. So,
I really enjoyed the series, and I think Sri Lanka. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying here, I think I've actually quite enjoyed the series so far, and the way Sri Lanka played in that T20 series could have easily went 2-1 because they had Australia in a lot of trouble in that second T20. And then the ODI series, I mean, it has been hampered by the weather. Let's admit it has been hampered by the weather, but I think the fighting spirit of the Sri Lankan side, you've seen it. You've seen it come up. And I like this fighting spirit from them, especially against a team like Australia. A lot of food for thought going into the ICC tournaments, especially the T20 and the 50 over World Cup. So Australia's weakness and a lot of
Hello? Oh, sorry.
hello.
What were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying? Yeah. What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've been impressed with the Sri Lankan fighting spirit in the T20 series and the ODI series. So I really hope that they can push this Australian side all the way here. And, and if they can, go for the series win here. Because to me, it's looking quite evenly matched at the moment, especially in the Sri Lankan conditions. Hello?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just I was surprised Sri Lanka actually won the second ODI because of the runs required to balls required. But I guess, yeah, man, they really have been outstanding. I guess that win in the last T20 really pushed them up another level there, hey? Because I thought they could have won the first ODI, so I guess it kind of balances out in a way because Australia should have probably won the second ODI and then Sri Lanka probably deserved to win the first ODI. So I guess it balances that out, if you know what I mean. So I think
I think they probably pushed above their weight, Sri Lanka, in the series. I mean, a lot of people were writing them off, and they've exceeded expectations so far by challenging Australia the way they have challenged them. So I mean, even in the first game, by no means were they out of it. Hey, Sid. I mean, posting 300 was a really decent total, and 300 is a decent total in one-day international. Let's be honest about that. So it's looking quite even at the moment in the series.
Yeah, man, it will be. So I think if I'm looking at it, yeah, I know you didn't mention these other fixtures on the list, but I'm just gonna run through them very quickly. Okay, Bangladesh and West Indies quickly. Okay, Bangladesh were bowled for 103. West Indies made 265, and Bangladesh are 50 for 2. I'm probably expecting an innings win for West Indies because 112 runs behind for Bangladesh. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And then there's England and Netherlands. Gosh, this is a bit of a waste of time, man. But nearly 500 runs scored for England in a 200 and something plus defeat. I guess it's also because
I mean, look. I mean, what can I say? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can hear you now.
What can I say? I mean, you've got a Netherlands attack there. That's obviously, haven't played a lot of international cricket lately, and then you've got a ground that it's like half the size of Lord's, and obviously, I mean, they've been targeting this boundary yesterday, and I mean, wow, it was a fantastic batting performance from England. Let's take nothing away from it, but I mean, a really lopsided series so far. I hope Netherlands can at least compete in the next game because, we haven't seen it. Because, I mean, if England keep on batting first, you're going to see a lot of these 400 totals, racked up. So, I mean, they're not changing any of those venues. So it's going to be at the same venue for the next two games. So if England are batting first, I see a few danger signs there because a lot of players are expressing themselves quite brutally as well. I mean, Butler. I mean, he's on the form of his life at the moment. I mean, had a fantastic IPL and showing it again in England colours. But I guess there'll be standard tests for him to come against the likes of India and England, which obviously India and the Proteas, which we're looking forward to. And I would definitely judge England on those two series. If they can win those two series, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good as a one-day side, going to the World Cup next year and stuff. So, yeah, I'm curious about how they play in those games. But yeah, a bit of a lopsided game, hey. But I mean, fantastic batting performance. A world record score, 498. Bangladesh and West Indies. I'll tell you what, Sid. This could be really interesting on day 3, eh? Because if Bangladesh are able to bat out the whole day, which, I mean, at the moment, you can say a bit unlikely, but I just want to say something. They've got Shakib there, and Shakib is a world-class player, and he can play that innings, get Bangladesh out of trouble. So I wouldn't want to rule anything out at the moment. I wouldn't want to rule anything out, but obviously, if they do get bowled out today, then it's going to be quite quite a comfortable win for the West Indies. But I mean, the Windies are quite ahead of the game at the moment. But I mean, joy. We saw a bit of joy in South Africa, and he didn't give the Proteas a lot of joy, especially in that game in Kingsmead where he scored that century. So I mean, he's a decent player, and I think Raheem is still there. Is Mushfiqah still there as well? He's still to come.
Okay, hold on. Let me just check quickly. Sorry about this. This one you try and
That's
okay.
fine.
Just click on. All right. Can we go to scorecard and yeah, there's Shakib, there's Manamul Haq, Litton Das, Nasrul, Mustafir. I think if you look at it, I think Mehedi and Tamim went out, but there's still Joy batting and there's Hossein. So then there's still Mustafir's Rahman, but he bats pretty much later on.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Windies are still in control of this game, and by no stretch of the imagination, they're still in control of this game. But I do think if Shakib can put a good innings together, and I mean, Litton Das is a fantastic player as well. I mean, on his day, he can score those runs. But what I've noticed in the Windies pitches, especially in the previous series against England, and I think last year against Sri Lanka as well, we've seen. Especially after day 3, that the pitches start getting flatter. So if it does get flatter, it does bring Bangladesh back into the game. But I mean, obviously, they've got to bat really well. So, yeah, my money is still on the Windies to win this one. My money is still on the Windies to win this one. But I don't think it's going to be a really, real cakewalk by an innings or so. I think Bangladesh are going to fight it, but yeah.
All right. Any final word before we wrap up?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you my predictions. SA in India tomorrow, I do it. I think the Proteas are going to do it. I think it's going to be 3-2 to the Proteas. I think they've had 2 wake-up calls now, and I think a third one would be like really tragic. So I think they're going to win this one in Bengaluru, in Bangalore. So it's going to go 3-2 to the Proteas. England, obviously, I've given my result. It's going to be 3-0 to England. Yeah. I can't see anything else against this depleted New Zealand team at the moment. And Australia and Sri Lanka. Really interesting series, Sid. I'm going 3-2 with Sri Lanka,
Yeah, I was thinking the same because of the Australian squad being depleted. So, yeah, I think that sounds about right. And then I won't even speak about. Okay, I think I think that's pretty much. Yeah, what you're laughing at? It's true. Australian squad is pretty depleted. So yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much correct. But anyway,
pretty much, and I think Sri Lankan conditions, they'll back themselves as well.
Sorry. Oh, what did you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was saying in Sri Lankan conditions in their backyard, they would probably back themselves to beat Australia, and Australia are depleted at the moment, like you said. England and Netherlands, I mean, I can't think of anything else there. I think it's a really,
it's a waste of time to talk about it because it's so predictable.
Really ridiculous, honestly. 3-0 to England there. And then Bangladesh and West Indies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think this Windies attack has got enough in it to win. So I'd give them 2. So, yeah. But I'm seeing the big one tomorrow, Proteas and India. Yeah. I think the Proteas 3-2 there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say India to possibly win because they do have the momentum, but I feel that SA might snatch it there because of the fact that once you've lost 2, your ego won't take anymore. So I think they'll probably snatch it. But anyways, that's pretty much it from us. You enjoy the rest of your day and take care, man.
Cheers, man. Cheers, sir. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and chat to you soon.